The big news is this. It broke about 3 hours ago. Anthony Joshua has finally accepted Tyson Fury's offer to fight him on the 3rd of December. Remember, Tyson Fury called out Anthony Joshua after his second loss to Alexander Usyk on the 20th of August, with Fury offering to split the purse 60 in favor of himself and 40 to Anthony Joshua for a fight which he tagged as the Battle of Britain. Now, the latest about that offer is that Anthony Joshua's camp has officially accepted the offer, and they've also communicated back to Fury's camp awaiting his response. You had AJ's team and his management, known as 258 Management, including his promoter, Eddie Earn, who runs Matchroom Boxing, confirming that they did hold talks with Tyson Fury's camps, although they had to put that on hold due to the demise of Queen Elizabeth II last week. Joining us on another edition of The Arena, it is the Tuesday edition, the 13th day of September. And you know what it is? It's all about the UEFA Champions League at this point, especially for European clubs. The Premier League clubs had the opportunity of resting due to, lack of action over the weekend as a result of the demise of Queen Elizabeth II. But you had other European matches go ahead. So for Premier League clubs in action today and tomorrow, it will be advantage in terms of rest, but sometimes that doesn't count. This is The Arena, as I said earlier, and I'm Samson Olede. Thanks for spending your afternoon with us once again. Let's delve into it, starting from the UEFA Champions League, and we have to start with the biggest of the matches we have tonight, and that's Barcelona against Bayern Munich. It's Bayern Munich who will be at home at the Allianz Arena, and this time around it's Lewandowski who is leading the charge for Barcelona, going back to his former home ground to get Barcelona on a winning note against Bayern Munich. This is a fixture that has brought about great memories in recent times. There's that famous Lionel Messi goal which is scored against Bayern Munich in the 3-0 win, where he had to turn Jerome Boateng in and out. It's one of the classic goals scored in the UEFA Champions League. And then you had the famous 8-2 victory of Bayern Munich with Robert Lewandowski, Thomas Muller, all playing a pivotal part, scoring goals as well in that humiliating defeat for Barcelona. So this time around, it's Robert Lewandowski who is leading Barcelona's charge, and it must be said he has settled well in live at Camp Nou, getting goals, scoring goals for fun. He has already gotten double brace, scored his first hat-trick for the club. It will be interesting to see how he fares on the return. The big question is, will he be celebrated or will he be jeered by the fans? I think the guess is good, considering how well he fared over 9 years at the Allianz Stadium. He should be celebrated by the Bayern Munich fans. And you have Thomas Muller, Sadio Mane, all joking that the Bayern Munich players shouldn't make the mistake of passing the ball to Lewandowski, forgetting that he's no longer the player. That's one match that will be intriguing to see how it pans out. Remember, for Xavi Hernandez's men, they're on a very good roll, having won successive games. The only blemish on their record has to be that first game of the season where they drew at Nou Camp, playing a goalless stalemate against, Rayo Vallecano at Nou Camp, as I said. So this time around, the club has found a new gear, and they're just scoring goals for fun. On the other hand, for Bayern Munich, it's been a difficult last few weeks. Just over the weekend, they played out a 2-2 draw against Stuttgart to record their third successive draw in the German Bundesliga, thereby surrendering their lead at the top of the standings to Union Berlin. So it's Bayern Munich who are going into this encounter with a bit of question marks regarding the form of the team and certain players, while for Barcelona, they will be going into this, with confidence. It will be intriguing to see how this pans out. But one thing you're guaranteed is that there will be goals galore when it comes to this match itself. The big question is, will Robert Lewandowski score against this former club? I'm sure tonight we will get to find out if that will be possible. But moving away from there, let's talk about another club struggling just as Bayern Munich in recent times, and that's Liverpool Football Club. Yes, Jurgen Klopp's men suffered a humiliating 4-1 defeat in the hands of Napoli last week at Naples, and this time around they'll be hoping to avoid such embarrassing display or performance, as it were. They will be at Anfield, the comfort of home, as it were. But against the high-flying Ajax side, free scoring, it must be said, scored record number of goals to the start of the season, and looks like the losses of key players for Ajax, especially their top scorer Sebastian Haller to Borussia Dortmund over the summer, has not limited the team in terms of its offensive outlet. Rather, they are scoring goals, and that's a huge concern for Jurgen Klopp, considering the defensive frailties that Liverpool are going through or have at this point in time. For Liverpool, the results have been inconsistent. You had a 2-2 draw to the start of the season against Fulham, another 1-0 draw against Crystal Palace at Anfield, which was the first match at Anfield. And aside the 9-0 demolition of Bournemouth, which led to the sack of Scott Parker, yeah, it's difficult to pinpoint, a bright spot within their challenging season thus far. There was a 2-1 win over Newcastle United, hard-fought, controversial, but it's just not the Liverpool we know in terms of that game pressing, as Jurgen Klopp likes to, call his style of play. So the question marks, there's still injury woes as well. Do not forget that Jordan Henderson, the captain of the side, is out for a month. You have Naby Keita also battling injury, Thiago Alcantara. I mean, the list is endless, but there's a new man in town, talking about Arthur, who can make things happen for them in that middle of the pack. Very good on the balls, got an eye for, great passes, defense splitting passes. It should come good. The only question is, can Liverpool's defense hold at bay, the offensive outlet of Ajax? That's a multi-million-dollar question. It's at Anfield, so Liverpool will be banking on home support. But Jurgen Klopp, after the demolition of, after the humiliating defeat rather of Napoli last week, said his team needs to reinvent themselves. And the question will be, how reinvented are they going into this match against Ajax? It will be difficult, and I'm sure we'll see whatever changes have taken place in terms of either tactical setup or, switches, tweaks from positional plays and what have you. All of that should be on display tonight as Liverpool try to reinvent themselves. Still talking about the UEFA Champions League, we have lots of matches tonight, about 7 of them or 8. But let's just reel you through another one that should catch your fancy, and that's Bayern Leverkusen against Atletico Madrid. Remember, for Atletico Madrid last week, it took 2 stoppage time goals for them to earn that win over Porto, a 2-1 win with Antoine Griezmann scoring the winner in the 101st minute. Yes, you heard it, 11 minutes extra was played in that match. And that was when Griezmann scored the goal with literally the last kick of the match. This time around, they will be facing Bayer Leverkusen away from home. For Leverkusen as well, it's also another difficult challenge. They surprisingly lost to Club Brugge by a lone goal on match day 1. So it's all to play for Bayer Leverkusen in terms of redeeming themselves or rebounding, as it were, from that shock loss on match day 1. While for Atletico Madrid, they will be hoping to secure another win and place themselves firmly, at the top of the standings of that group. But it's difficult to tell. Diego Simeone's men, the transition from being a defensive-minded, side to the offensive outlet is taking a toll. But I'm sure today we would find answers if finally they can all go out in terms of attacking opponents that way. But moving away from that, let's talk about Spurs. Yes, Tottenham Hotspur earned an impressive 2-0 win, over Olympic Marseille at the new White Hart Lane Stadium on match day 1, with Richarlison getting a brace in there. This time around, they'll be taking on, Sporting Lisbon away from home. It's a difficult game for Sporting Lisbon. The confidence is high. And remember, Sporting Lisbon were the ones who earned an impressive 3-0 win over Eintracht Frankfurt on match day 1. So the Portuguese champions are looking at, making it 2 wins from 2. And it's Antonio Conte's men who are the visitors to Lisbon this time around. For Antonio Conte, is not new to the tournament, having led Juventus, Inter Milan, Chelsea to the UEFA Champions League. But for Spurs, it's been a while they've been to the Champions League, so it's a new experience for some of these players, and all of these challenges are coming, amid the struggles of Heung-min Son, the joint top scorer of the English Premier League last season, who is yet to kick off, his account for this season in terms of scoring goals. But that doesn't take anything away from the fact that it's still very instrumental to how Antonio Conte sets up his attacking outlets. It will be interesting to see, and let's see which team gets it. Now, having talked about the various matches, let me just run you through some of them before I give you the predictions, or my predictions, as it were. We've talked about Liverpool against Ajax. That's a match we have tonight. You can watch out for that. You have Bayer Leverkusen against Atletico Madrid. You have Porto against Club Brugge. Victoria Pleasant against Inter Milan. You also have Bayern Munich against Barcelona. Sporting Lisbon against Tottenham Hotspur. And the final match for tonight is Olympique Marseille against Eintracht Frankfurt. All of these matches for your sporting delights this night.